What do you think of Kentucky?" He yawned and slapped his tail on the floorboards. Mama wound a strand of yarn around her finger and looked at me. "You know what, Teddy? He reminds me of that little black and white dog in those cartoons. What was his name? Do you know who I'm talking about?" "Snoopy?" "Yes, that's it. He looks like Snoopy." "I think so, too. When he wakes up in the morning and realizes that being loved isn't just a dream, he grins. I swear he does." "Where was it you found him?" "Limping down the side of the road. It was during that awful rainstorm back in March. I wrote you a note about it, remember?" "Maybe he got lost. Did you try to find his owner?" I pulled a dish towel from the basket and smoothed it over my knees. "No, he wasn't lost. He was running away from home. A bad home." "Now, how in the world do you know that?" I looked at Eddie and winked. "He told me." "The dog told you?" Mama shook her head, and we fell into a comfortable silence. I didn't know why, but everything about this visit seemed different. I had the feeling, or maybe it was just a hope, that in our uniquely inept ways we were trying to build a bridge toward each other. A fragile bridge, but a bridge just the same. While folding an apron, I glanced toward the barn. Soaring above the silo was a red-tailed hawk. Round and round he went, the pale underside of his belly catching the light, his wings outstretched as he floated in the sky. I couldn't see a hawk without thinking about my brother Josh. When we were kids living here on the farm, raptors were frequent visitors. Hawks, peregrine falcons, and even an occasional eagle. Early in the morning, Josh and I would often watch on the back porch as they soared out from their homes in the woods that stood behind the barn. The birds spent their days gliding low over the fields as they hunted for unsuspecting rabbits and squirrels. Sometimes they'd ride an air thermal and just glide and glide. After supper, when the sun hung low and shadows stretched long across the grass, the raptors would return home to the mysteries that lay hidden within the pillars of the giant trees. All the raptors were beautiful, yet it was the red-tailed hawks that left my brother spellbound. There were times when Josh would run through the hayfield with his eyes set on a hawk soaring in the sky, and he'd end up tripping in a tractor rut and falling flat on his face. And once, when he was racing alongside the barn, trying to keep a red tail in view, he ran smack into a fence and got a bloody nose. One summer's evening, when he was no more than 6, Josh trotted across the lawn, overalls rolled up to his knees, his bare feet caked in dirt. "Look, Teddy," he gasped, pointing toward the barn. "See up there? That's the big guy, the one I told you about yesterday. I know that's him." I got up from the porch swing and joined him on the back steps. And sure enough, perched on the tip of the silo was a red-tailed hawk. My brother looked at me. "What do you think he's doing up there?" I draped my arm around his shoulders. "I read a story about that hawk's great-great-granddaddy. He guarded an Indian who lived in a cave high above Red River Gorge. The hawk watched over him from the time he was just a little boy. They were best friends for all their lives. When the Indian grew old and died, do you know what happened?" "What?" "The hawk swooped down, spread his talons as wide as they'd go, and lifted the Indian's spirit right out of his body. And then he flew up through the clouds past the moon and the stars and straight into heaven. They're still together." My little brother drew in a breath. "They are?" I nodded. "And now this hawk is watching over you. He was born way up in Clifty Wilderness, and from all the other red-tails in Kentucky, he was chosen to fly down here and be your guardian." I looked